Welcome to Have History Will Travel. I am your host, the Wilder Historian, and today I want to talk to you about politics. Not today's politics, but 19th century politics. And one cannot talk about 19th century politics without talking about America's most important politician to never be president, the legendary Henry Clay. To demonstrate his importance, I want to discuss all his contributions to the United States and to the state he represented in Congress, Kentucky. Despite numerous attempts to become president, the cards were never in his favor, but he still stands as one of, if not the most important American politician never to become president. He was born in Virginia in 1777, and after apprenticing under a lawyer, he travels through the Cumberland Gap into Kentucky, where his lawyer services would be needed. It was said by settlers in Kentucky that to buy land in Kentucky is to buy a lawsuit, meaning that the land surveys were so muddled and overlapped that if you settled on a piece of land, who knows whether you actually own it or not. Many times wealthy men in the East purchased large tracts of land in Kentucky, and if someone squatted on their land, they would take them to court. Normally not having enough money to go to court, the squatter would simply move rather than risk losing money in a court case, whether they had right to the land or not. Henry Clay stepped in and helped settle land disputes, making Kentucky a more prominent place to settle. Early in his political career, he and his buddy John C. Calhoun were war hawks who pushed for war with Britain that erupted in the War of 1812. Those two would eventually split over political differences after the war, with Calhoun siding with the Democrats and Clay being one of the founders of the Whig Party, which emerged as an opposition party to Andrew Jackson's Democratic Party. One of his first national accomplishments is the Missouri Compromise. He helped broker the compromise between the members of Congress that brought Missouri in as a slave state and Maine in as a free state to keep the number of senators equal in the Senate. It also forbade slavery north of the 3630 parallel. It was here that he showed off one of his many talents, bringing two sides of the political spectrum together in order to create compromise and bipartisan support. One of his next big accomplishments was the Compromise of 1850. Clay created an Omnibus Bill, which was an attempt at a bipartisan compromise but was too large to get a majority of votes in Congress to pass. Political newcomer Stephen Douglas would break it up into bite-sized pieces so that it would gain enough support to pass, but its original incarnation was Clay's doing. Moving out of politics, Clay was also most responsible for making Kentucky known for horses and horse racing. Like politics, he had a passion for animal breeding and would import the best stock of horses, cattle, sheep, and chickens to breed on his farm. He loved horses, horse racing, and helped propel livestock as a main economic and financial source for the Bluegrass State. I hope this short video better explains the legacy of Henry Clay and his undying will to seek compromise in an ever-divisive political spectrum prior to the Civil War. The great compromiser would pass away in 1852, and without his political savvy and will to compromise, the Civil War became an ever-present possibility. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.